So we're living in this age where AI just seems to be causing way more anxiety than it is answers, right? But what if? What if the key to figuring all this out isn't hiding in some Silicon Valley boardroom? What if it's coming from someone you would absolutely least expect?
Okay, first things first. We got to get a handle on the stakes here. Because this isn't just about some new technology. We are smack in the middle of a massive global crisis of purpose. And you know who it's hitting the hardest? The next generation.
I mean, just look at the scale of this. This isn't your typical teenage angst we're talking about. The research from the source material is pretty staggering. It shows that 9 out of 10 young people in the UK feel like their life just has no purpose. In the US, it's 3 out of 5. And here's the kicker. Half of them say this is directly tied to poor mental health. This is a full-blown societal emergency.
So, who's going to be our guide through all this chaos? You're probably picturing some young coder, right? Fueled by energy drinks, living that whole move fast and break things mantra. But our guide for today, his name is Trevor Nell. He's an author, a thinker, and he's over 70 and a proud, self-confessed non-techie. He's not a coder, he's what you'd call a synthesizer, and he's proving that in this brand new world, maybe, just maybe, timeless wisdom is the most valuable thing we've got.
All right, so this crisis of meaning, it demands a totally new way of thinking. To really thrive right now, we basically need a new operating system for our ideas. The old way of doing things, that slow, step-by-step progress, that's over. We're now in an era where we have to create and test ideas at the speed of thought.
It's like the tech expert Linus Billiuna said, we're riding an exponential curve. That predictable 1 foot in front of the other progress that defined the last 100 years, gone. It's been replaced by a pace that's like 1,000 times faster. The old timelines just don't apply anymore. They're totally obsolete.
And this brings us to this really core concept, prototyping at the speed of thought. Think about what that means. It's the ability to use AI to take an idea, just a thought, and instantly turn it into something real, something you can actually test. You get to skip all the old hurdles, the months of design meetings, the long development cycles, the endless testing. You can just make stuff, instantly. Okay, so this leads to the million-dollar question, right? How do we actually use these incredible tools without being terrified of them? Well, it all comes down to a really fundamental shift in mindset. We have to stop seeing AI as this threat that's here to replace us, and start seeing it as a tool that amplifies what we already bring to the table.
Just look at the difference here. When you hear artificial intelligence, what comes to mind? For a lot of people, it's replacement, fear, becoming obsolete. But Trevor Nell, our guide, he pushes for a much more empowering term, amplified intelligence. See how that feels different? It reframes AI as your partner, a multiplier for your knowledge, your wisdom, unique purpose. It puts the power right back in your hands. And what comes out of this is a really clear, actionable formula for the future. Think about it like this. Your unique wisdom, everything you've learned in your life, that's your source code. AI, that's the compiler. It's the tool that takes your code and translates it into something powerful and scalable. And the output? Amplified purpose.
Yeah, this quote from the source material just nails it. This means the smarter you are, the smarter the AI is working with you. The value that AI spits out is directly tied to the quality of the human wisdom you feed it. See, it's not some great equalizer, it's an accelerator. It's an accelerator for people who bring real, deep knowledge to the conversation. Your wisdom is the secret sauce.
Okay, so let's get out of the theory and into the real world. In this really cool trilogy of issues, we're talking issues 92, 93, and 94 of his newsletter, One Idea, Trevor Nell actually documents his own hands-on experiments. He basically gives his readers this real-time guide for turning timeless wisdom into actual, tangible, valuable digital assets.
So, for one of these experiments, the starting point was this, a super dense, high-value blog post from way back in 2004. I mean, for 20 years, all this wisdom about financial discipline, about global business strategy, about taking smart risks, it was just text, just sitting on a server somewhere, static. And then, in less than 10 minutes, that static wisdom was completely transformed. Using AI tools, a full video script and video were generated in just 3 minutes. A custom image for it? That took 2 minutes. A custom soundtrack to go with it? Only 3 minutes. I mean, an entire modern multimedia package born from a 20-year-old idea, all created in the time it takes to grab a cup of coffee. That's wild.
Now, Nell's experiments, they didn't just pop up out of nowhere. They actually evolved. He started off simple, with AI-generated memes. Then he moved on to creating these
digital stamp sheets to sort of prototype the whole idea of digital scarcity and value. And eventually, he got super ambitious, thinking about generating unique Louvre-quality oil paintings. You can see this clear path, right, from simple content to truly valuable assets.
So, this all naturally leads to the next logical question. How do you prove you own one of these new digital things? And the answer, as explored in the source, is the NFT. Think of it as a unique digital certificate of ownership that lives on a blockchain. It's what creates real, verifiable scarcity in a world where you can copy and paste anything.
And look, this technology is already way beyond just collecting digital art. It's becoming this super functional tool for ownership in the digital world. People are using it for everything from getting into exclusive communities to representing shares of real-world assets. It's the engine that gives digital wisdom real-world value.
But, and this is a big but, all of this incredible opportunity comes with a really serious warning. Trevor Nell's story isn't just about what's possible. It's a direct challenge to every single one of us about why we need to act and act now.
We've all heard the crazy predictions, right? Experts cited in the source material are throwing around numbers like a potential 99% unemployment rate as AI takes over more and more tasks. But instead of getting stuck on the fear of lost jobs, Nill's experiments point to something totally different, the creation of new kinds of value. The question isn't just, will a robot take my job? The real question is, can I amplify my own wisdom into something new and valuable?
And that's the paradox, isn't it? At the exact same moment we're facing this massive disruption, we're also being handed this unbelievable opportunity. The source material frames it perfectly. The greatest upgrade in human history is downloading right now. So the choice is ours. Do we take part in that upgrade, or do we get left behind by it?
So, with all this technology, all this change swirling around us, what is the single greatest enemy we're actually facing? What's the real threat here? Is it the AI? Is it some kind of economic collapse?
No, the biggest threat isn't the technology. It's our own apathy. It's the choice to just sit on the sidelines, frozen by confusion or fear, while the rest of the world is moving forward at this exponential speed. The cost of doing nothing has literally never been higher.
And that leaves us with one last, really provocative question. And this isn't for the tech CEOs or the futurists out there. This one's for you. As we watch institutions that have been around forever, things that existed long before the internet, struggle just to survive, we've got to apply that same logic to ourselves. So here it is. Does your value, your unique wisdom, your life's purpose, does it need an AI-powered translation to stay relevant in the world that's coming?